All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and a couple days ago I made a video talking to you guys about some of the best uniforms to consider for Black Friday 2024. And I seen in the comment section some of you guys asking for me to do a tier list for the best artifacts to pick up, because as of right now we have 205 artifacts in the game. We're almost in the end game. Well, I guess you could technically say we're in the end game, considering the fact that we have like what, 80% of the artifacts, close to it. We got 272 characters and we have 205 artifacts, so just over 70% of the characters in the game have an artifact, which is kind of crazy. To be honest though, a lot of them are kind of garbage, or they're really good but the characters that they're for are currently really bad, either lacking a uniform or their playstyle don't fit the artifacts that they have. So I'm going to show you guys what my tier list currently looks like. By the way, if you guys want to see your boy get completely annihilated for essence, because when it comes to artifacts, I don't gamble for crystals, but as you can see, I have 100,000 essence just sitting here. I was thinking about trying to push maybe Deadpool or Sentry's artifact to plus 20 like I did for Wolverine. So that's why I'm sitting on so much essence, because it takes a lot of essence to get to plus 20, and I wanted to increase basically my instinct damage a little bit when it comes to like PvP, because for PvE it doesn't really make a difference. So if you guys want to see me gamble away those essence and get absolutely nothing in return, smash the like button. If we get 500 likes, I'll do that for you guys. All right, now I'm not gonna go over every single artifact one by one, because that will make this a 2-hour video. So you can either take my word for it or you cannot. Okay, so I'll talk about the ones that I think are important. So right here we have the top meta picks. These artifacts are for characters that are currently meta or will stay meta for the foreseeable future. In the case of Sentry and Silver Surfer, they both have uniforms coming next year and they're still currently meta right now. So if you don't have a 5 or 6 star version of their artifact and you are playing the bingo, which I'm assuming that's why a lot of you guys are asking for an artifact guide. I know for sure, Jamie, I seen you in the comment section, you were asking about the artifact guide because you're doing the bingo. I'm assuming that's the case for the majority of you guys as well. I would say if you don't have Sentry's artifact, pick that up. Definitely thinking about whether or not I'm going to pick up a 5 or 6 star version. It's between Deadpool and Sentry for me. So either a 5-star Sentry and a 6-star Deadpool, or a 6-star Deadpool and a 5-star Sentry. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Sentry over Deadpool, even though Deadpool is my favorite character. I know, but yeah, somehow Deadpool is getting shafted by Netmarble and by me. What can I say, man? Sentry is just too damn good, and his artifact is amazing. Anyway, so Scarlet Witch, ABX, ABL meta. These two PvP meta. Wolverine, Undead. Ghost Rider, Undead. Now Ghost Rider is no longer meta for ABX or Timeline Battle, so you could say he's no longer a top meta pick, but he's at the very least a great pick. So I could put him down here with Spider-Man, right? Because Spider-Man is not Timeline Battle meta. He's more so like Other World Battle / AC, and AC / World Boss is where most people use Ghost Rider. And to be honest, unless you're really bad at the game or you're just being really careless, your Ghost Rider shouldn't need his artifact for PvE content in most cases, right? So you're realistically getting this artifact for him for like Other World Battle, because he gives him like immunity to guard break and he's undead, right? Hela, definitely you want to get artifact, otherwise she's kind of useless, sadly. Well, she's just support with her uniform. Adam Warlock, great artifact. Thanos, great artifact. Dr. Octopus is kind of falling off a little bit because of the fact that you have Hulk, which I think if you are a free-to-play player, a mid-range player that doesn't have a lot of HP on your cards, getting Hulk's artifact at 6 star can help you get closer to 12 million, but otherwise I would move it down to great picks. It's completely up to your own discretion. Gladiator, I would say this is a great one for him. Extra damage for PvE content against super villains, and that's basically what he's used for right now against the Frost Beast and Surtur. So ABL, ABX, that kind of deal. Madeline, I toyed with the idea of putting her in top meta just because it's immortality, but she never gets used for timeline these days, and I don't see her coming back anytime soon. So it's pretty much just AC and Otherworld battle, and that's where these guys all shine. So I figured she fits in right here with them. Let me know what you think about that. Strife has the same artifact as Adam Warlock. However, Adam Warlock is a vastly superior character, so that's why he's in the tier above and he is below. Rogue used to be ABL/ABX meta. No longer the case, but she's still really good for world boss, and she's the best dispatch farmer. So I think this artifact is good for her because it buffs her against like alien characters, which are world bosses. Weapon X, really good, especially if you have her new uniform. Now if you do not have the Paywall uniform for Weapon X, I don't think you should pick up the artifact. However, if you do have the uniform and you pick up the artifact, tier 40 character. Frankly, if you bought the uniform, you should tier 4 her. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, wait a second, Beast, you bought the uniform for Weapon X and you haven't tier 4'd her. So why are you telling us to tier 4 her? I am going to tier 4 her soon. I'm just waiting so I can make sure that I have enough resources to tier 4 Null. I have 15k, but she might take, I don't know, 5-6k, and I might run out and not be able to do Null. And we don't know how Null is going to shake up the meta, so I'm basically waiting until I do Null, then I'm going to come back and do her. I think if you bought her Paywall uniform, you should tier 4 her so you get maximum value. Moving on, great picks. I still say Angel's artifact is a great pickup because of the fact that if you have a seasonal uniform, he's a support character that removes debuffs for Otherworld battle. So it's a good pickup so he can actually stay alive longer to do some damage since he doesn't have iframe ignore. I wish he had iframe ignore. I think Star-Lord's artifact is really good because it gives you extra damage to like aliens and supervillains, which, surprise surprise, majority of the world bosses are either aliens or supervillains. If he's at tier 4, he actually slaps. Iron Man is back in the fold as a great DPS, so if you like Iron Man, this artifact is kind of future proof. This has the same effect as Namor. Now you might be wondering why Namor is not right beside him, because his gives 25% extra damage to boss types. It's the same thing that Namor has. However, Namor's kind of fallen off. So even though it's a great artifact, it's for a bad character. And if you take a look at this list, you're gonna notice a lot of these characters in here, they have really good artifacts, but they themselves are in a bad place. They're either stuck at tier 3, transcended, or they might in some cases be like Hulkbuster, where they can be tier 4'd, but they're still bad even though their artifact is good. This gives you 20% extra damage to heroes and villains. It's one of the best artifacts in the game. It's the same thing that Wanda and Silver Surfer has, and you'll see I put them in top meta top picks. Why? Because the characters are actually good, so they can actually utilize those artifacts, versus this guy can't do it, him can't do it, him can't do it, him not gonna do it. He's not necessarily a bad character, he's a terrible character. He has the same effect. So like a lot of these characters, like for example Cyclops, they make it so that he does 20% extra damage to boss types. Cyclops is a support character, a leadership. He's not gonna be on the field, so it makes no sense to pick up a 5 or a 6-star version of the, frankly, even a 4-star version is wasted. If it's a selector, don't choose these guys because they're in a bad place right now. Maybe if they get a uniform in the future or a tier 4, like for example Sabretooth, he has immortality. If he gets tier 4, then maybe at some point he could be half as good as Wolverine. She has immortality. Maybe at some point she could be as good as Hela. Who knows? I debated with myself about putting him in the great picks like I did for Falcon. I know some of you guys are looking at this and you're like, wait a second, Falcon, great pick? He's kind of shit right now. Yes, but Captain America Brave New World is coming in February. So if you're a big fan of Falcon, well, you pick up this artifact if you know for sure you're gonna tier for him day one, because it's a great artifact. However, right now he's a bad character. So I hope you guys kind of get where I'm going with this. Then we got all of the support artifacts here. I kind of ranked them based on their utility. I put Nick Fury and Coulson in front and center here just because There's majority of the characters in the game are superheroes, and they buff superheroes. They give them a nice amount of extra damage. Then we follow up with Valkyrie, 15% extra damage to all allies. Then we follow up with Black Cat, giving you a little bit of extra damage to heroes, villains, and boss types. Then we got Umbaku, a little bit of all attack, and then so on and so forth. It gets a little bit more niche as you move as you move from left to right, I should say, right? So that's basically it. Then we have the category here, free, do not select. Basically, all of these artifacts can be gotten for free, whether from World Boss, so you can get all the way up to a 6-star Swan, Gore, Jean, Kang, etc. You can farm Captain America, White Fox, Wave, Luna Snow, Sharon Rogers, and Shang-Chi. You can all get from Dimension missions. Let me just structure them based on World Boss, that way it's easier on the eyes, I guess. Now, here's the thing. Captain America with his new zombie uniform is a great PvP character. If you tier 4 him, tier 4 Weapon X, you have an amazing team. So I wouldn't blame you if you're a super Captain America fan, if you went out there and you picked up a 6-star version of this, because the highest you can get from rifting is a 4-star. So if you wanted to pick up a 6-star version, I wouldn't blame you. Gives you extra damage to supervillains and give you a little bit of damage reduction, make your Captain America a little bit stronger. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Now these artifacts right here, with the exception of Shang-Chi, are kind of useless, right? If you have some cold resistance on your cards, then it can be useful, but she's getting a heal, which if she's on the field, you've already lost. She's getting attack. If she's on the field, you've already lost. Sharon Rogers artifact ain't doing shit for her. Then we come down to the good artifact. Now some of these may actually be above good, like anywhere borderline great, like giving you damage reduction or ignoring damage reduction, but most of them just give you a little bit of all attack and a little bit of ignore dodge. Some of them give you a little bit of HP. Some of them convert your resistance into fire damage or lightning damage or cold damage, etc. Some of them give you iframe ignore for a few seconds with a cooldown, that kind of stuff. In case of these two, they convert their reflect damage into HP, which they recover, which is cool. But I would say none of them are like game-breaking effects, so that's why I'm putting them right here. Well, to be fair, the only game-breaking effects are like the immortality and I would say the pseudo immortality that you get from people like Dakin and X23, which as you can see right here, I put them in the great artifact bad character category. Now we might have a few people who disagree with me putting these guys down here in the almost useless category, and that's fine. Part of the reason why I put this guy specifically down here in the almost useless category, even though he's a support character, because he basically removes debuff, or rather there's a 50% chance when spider sense characters are debuffed for them to remove their debuffs and then get a little bit of attack. The only person he will be removing debuffs from is Spider-Man, and currently Spider-Man no longer has the spider sense tag. He has the symbiote tag, so this is basically useless because the other spiders are too weak to benefit from it. So I'll put it to you like this: every artifact in the game will make your character slightly stronger, but everything below the support category you only need a 3-star version of. Like, that's honestly how I look at it. Right here, support, I would say 4 and up. Right here, 5 and up. And right here, I would say guaranteed 6s. That's it. That's how I look at it. Now, if you have everything here at 6, then you start knocking off these guys and get them up at 6, right? And then if you go down here, you start getting them at 6. You could also do this, right? You could always go like this. Knock these guys out and then go like this. Make all of these guys 6s to make your other guys stronger. But however, keep in mind, once you go past like right, I would say here, it gets super niche, right? Because he's only buffing like what, 6 or 7 characters. He's only buffing like 5 or so, but only one of them can really use it right now, which is the Hulk. She's buffing mutants, but realistically Dazzler is a better buff. And then these guys, this is really good, the immortality that he provides. But you can see what I'm saying, right? As you move further right, just more and more niche, and it gets less and less useful. So it's up to you. Me personally, I would put it like this: top meta picks, then the great picks, then the supports. Because the supports, I would say 4-star versions are pretty much all you need. Whereas somebody like Quicksilver, the higher you get the Giga Dodge, the better he is. Apocalypse, the higher you get that revive, is better he is. The higher you get the immortality, the better, you know what I'm saying, that kind of stuff. Anyways guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if I could have structured this differently. I didn't really do much structuring from left to right for anything below, like honestly below the support section. Like all of this, I just kind of toss these guys in here and then let them fall where they may, because truthfully speaking, they're not worth selecting the artifacts for currently.